Hello, Timmy Nafso here, Executive Vice President and co-founder of FortisPay. We are discussing Apple killing iTunes. A lot of people are freaking out about Apple killing iTunes and what this means and what's going to happen to our music and, am I going to lose all of my old CD burns and rips and things like that. The good news is that you will not lose any of that information. We actually want to talk about a couple things really quickly here is what's happening with that and why something like this happens, especially tying this back to kind of the general public, but also small and mid-sized businesses across the country that really need to understand what progress means. And just because something has been a certain way for so long doesn't mean that it should stay that way. So Apple, which has had iTunes and was a groundbreaking product, obviously 18 years in the making, is now saying, look, in our new software, we're not going to be bringing iTunes along. It's become a little slower or clunky compared to Apple Music, Apple TV, and Apple Podcasts, where really they want to redirect everybody to those products instead. Again, the public is not, the general public, don't be afraid, you're not losing any of your data. Everything's going to be accessible through Apple Music as an example. But why this is important, why we're bringing up this conversation, is this idea of progress, right? 18 years, it's been working. Why change it? What kind of gamble is that? And Apple basically is coming out and saying, look, we have to stay relevant. And progress, right? Research and development, continuing to enhance our product is what makes us relevant versus continuing to build on top of an old system that eventually makes it clunky, and then you lose. You lose to the Spotifys of the world, you lose to the Pandoras of the world, you lose to the new business that's opening up across the street from you if you don't continue to change. And when people say something like, well, it's always worked this way, what they're not thinking of is a very important variable. That very important variable is the new customer experience that's coming in, right? So you have your current customer base, and they may be okay with you, but how many new customers are coming in, right, for your experience? So what was doesn't necessarily mean that what will be, right, going into our future. Constantly evolve, constantly adapt, constantly challenge the status quo for your own business, for your own processes as well. So Apple, great job, continue to keep moving. We're interested in seeing how this plays out and how the reaction is. As a headline, it is freaking people out because headlines are saying Apple kills iTunes. Okay, what does that mean for me? There is a tremendous safety net that actually is going to be a better experience for folks. So thanks for listening. Comment below and subscribe if you find this valuable.